Right. The next question, when will we give more information about the Cybertruck orders, estimated delivery schedules, pricing, and specifications?
Demand is so far off the hook, you can't even see the hook. So that's really not an issue. I do want to emphasize that the Cybertruck has a lot of new technology in it, like a lot. It doesn't look like any other vehicle because it is not like any other vehicle. And the production ramp will move as fast as the slowest and least likely element of the entire supply chain and internal production. So, I wouldn't expect, I hope it's smooth. We're certainly better at production ramps than we've got a lot of experience with production ramps, but, first order approximation is there's like 10,000 unique parts and processes in the Cybertruck, and if any one of it'll go as fast as the least lucky, least well executed element of the 10,000. So always very difficult to predict the ramp initially, but I think we'll be making them in high volume next year, and we will be delivering the car this year.
Thank you. Next question. How many Optimus bots have been made, and when will they be able to start performing useful tasks?
10 million. Yeah, I think we're around 5 or 6 bots. We're 10, I guess.
Yeah.
Which depends how many are working in what phase, but it's sort of, like there's more every month. There's a lot of interesting things about the Optimus bot. We found that there are actually no suppliers that can produce the actuators. There are no off-the-shelf actuators that work well for a humanoid robot at any price.
Certainly not compelling humanoid robot.
Yes, it's not a humanoid robot that can do stuff that the things that a human could do. So we've actually had to design our own actuators that integrate the motor, the power electronics, the controller, the sensors, and really every one of them is custom design. So, and then of course we'll be using the same inference hardware as the car. So, but we are in designing these actuators, designing them for volume production. So they're not just lighter, tighter, more capable than any other actuators that we're aware of that exist in the world. It's also actually manufacturable. So we should be able to make them in volume. The first Optimus that will have all of the Tesla designed actuators, sort of production candidate actuators, integrated and working should be around November-ish. So, and then we'll start ramping up after that. In terms of when we'll be able to do some useful things, we'll first be trying this out in our own factories and just proving out its utility. But I think we'll be able to have it do something useful in our factories sometime next year. I'm pretty confident of that. So and it's going well. I should say another cool thing about Optimus is that there's just in the US alone there are 2 million amputees, and I was just talking to the Neuralink team, and by combining a Neuralink implant and a robotic arm or leg for someone that has had their arm or leg or all arms and legs amputated, we believe we can give basically a cyborg body that is incredibly capable. $6 million man in real life, but it won't cost $6 million. $60,000 man. It sounds impressive, but it'll actually So that actually could be I think would be incredible to potentially help millions of people around the world, and give them a robot arm or leg that is as good, maybe long term better than a biological one.
Thank you. The next question is, how has the order intake trended relatively to production levels during Q2, and how is it trended in the quarter-to-date period? Conceptually, how does Tesla decide when is it appropriate to reduce prices or add other sales incentives to increase demand?
Yeah, I guess demand is roughly tracked production, so which is what we aim for. We look at something that we have that really I think no other car maker has, is that we have real-time demand and real-time production. 7 days a week, I get an email, auto-generated email that shows output from all factories and orders globally. So it's like a real-time finger on the pulse of Earth, basically. And we adjust course according to what the mood of the public is. But buying a new car is a big decision for the vast majority of people. So anytime there's economic uncertainty, people generally pause on new car buying, at least to see what happens. And and then obviously another challenge is the interest rate environment. As the interest rates rise, the affordability of anything bought with debt decreases. So effectively increasing the price of the car. So when interest rates rise dramatically, we actually have to reduce the price of the car because the interest payments increase the price of the car. So, and this is, at least up until recently, was I believe the sharpest interest rate rise in history. So we had to do something about that. And if somebody's got a crystal ball for the global economy, I would really appreciate it if I could borrow that crystal ball. Yeah, exactly. DM me on, it should be a note on Twitter. So, I mean, one day it seems like the world economy is falling apart, and the next day everything's fine. I don't know what the hell's going on. To be totally frank, I wish I did. So that's why I say, like, I always, on Twitter I posted, like, just really advising, because I care a lot about the sort of the small shareholders, especially ones that have stuck with us through thick and thin. I love you guys, and so we can't control these macro shocks, or the manic depressive nature of the stock market. So that's why I recommend against margin loans in times that are turbulent. If times are not that turbulent, actually a margin loan can be a smart move within reason. But we're in, I would call it, turbulent times. I have very high confidence in the long-term value of Tesla. Like, I see I really, see a path to a 10x. Well, maybe not. They call it a 5x increase in the value of the company, maybe a 10x. And where things go along the way, the trials and tribulations and the mood of the markets, one cannot predict. And so, the old adage of buy and hold is right. For investment advice, I say, like, identify a company whose products you love, see if they, does it seem like they'll continue to make good products or great products? Buy that stock and hold it. That's it. You will win. The reason companies exist is to make goods and services, ideally great goods and services. They don't exist for any other reason. They shouldn't. So that's why you should buy a stock of a company that makes great products and has a great future pipeline. It's common sense, actually. And then generally, if you see, provided you're confident about what that company's products or services are, when the market panics, buy. And when the market is, overly exuberant, you can sell. I'm not recommending you sell Tesla, but buy low, sell high. Warren Buffett actually, I think, has a saying. I'm paraphrasing him, but a publicly traded company is like, it's like imagine you're living in your house and some crazy manic depressive guy comes and stands at outside your house and yells property prices at you. And it's a different price every day. But the house is still the same house. So this is a stock market. Really credit that to Warren Buffett.